Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, another Swiss001 video, and welcome back to another year as well. And today we are back in the flight simulator, as always, literally. And today, as you can tell, we are at quite a special airport. As you can see, we are at St. Bartholomew, which is, an airport that we have visited countless of thousands of millions of times before. But today we are here with a very interesting plane, the U-2 plane, the U-2 spying plane. This plane here is known for being the worst plane to fly as a pilot, or perhaps the hardest plane to fly. Yeah, this plane was introduced in 1956 in the USA, obviously used as a high-altitude reconnaissance aircraft, which in other words is just a plane to spy on stuff. It has a very high-resolution camera on board that can take pictures. And that's the point, pretty much, of this plane, right? Now, this plane has some very interesting characteristics which makes it very much stand out. It is a very high-altitude plane. 70,000 feet is the normal cruising altitude of this plane, which is easily twice as high as an airliner would fly or something. But actually, these very interesting flight capabilities or flight characteristics are not particularly good for the handling of this plane itself. But let's just go ahead and take off this plane, the hardest plane to fly, from the hardest airport to fly. This is like a hard on the hard video. Yeah, this should be the hardest video ever, right? Let's go ahead. All right, full power on this jet engine. This plane is not fast, which is another point that this aircraft has, but we are taking off. Let's go. And oh my god, the handling is so bad. Jesus Christ, I so hate to fly this plane. The handling, especially on the takeoff and on the landing, is very bad here down on the ground, because this plane is not particularly fast here, obviously. So let's perhaps do a landing here at St. Bartholomew, again the hardest airport to fly, especially to land. So again, in the hardest plane to land. Let's go. Get the landing gear down. There we go. Now, this is kind of like a follow-up video to the U-2. I've already made a dedicated video to it, but I was only really explaining what this plane could all do, and let me just say it's a lot. But what it really didn't do was fly it at dangerous and hard airports, especially. So let's go ahead and do that really quick. I'm having some issues here with the controls. This plane is weirdly pulling to the left for some reason. I have no idea. This plane is so bad to fly. Jesus. I feel like I will spin out of control at any minute, really. Oh, geez, something is very wrong here. I think, we're going to crash. All right, come on, let's just get somewhat down. Oh, that has been a crash indeed. There we go, we just went right above this cross here, and yep, this plane is really unflyable. Wow. Alright, so we try getting this dragon lady, that's also what this plane is called, landed here at Saba Airport, the shortest commercial runway that there is. Now, luckily for us here, this plane was really built to fly at low speeds. That's obviously because these wings can provide a lot of lift, which is necessary for flying at 70,000 feet. Let's go ahead and touch down somewhat and try to get somewhat stopped. Come on. Alright, another crash landing. Do this sideways here in order to actually stop, which hasn't worked. That really hasn't worked. Alright, U-2 plane is genuinely impossible to land. Jesus. Yeah, this plane actually really needs a long runway in order to stop, because I guess the brakes are not particularly effective. This plane's just swerving around. I hate it. Also, a big problem, a big disadvantage of the wings here are that they make this plane float by quite a lot. Let's go 70. Alright. It's only a matter of how much speed you still have when you crash. Alright then, let's maybe try a little bit of a longer runway. Where could we go? I mean, we could go to Lukla, which has, at least 200 meters more of runway. 497. Let's fly to Lukla then. Alright, we'll come to the elevation of 10,000 feet. Actually, I think this plane likes it a little more here than above sea level. Again, it's built for altitude indeed. So let's maybe see if it's if it's better here. Again, Lukla has a slightly longer runway, which maybe gives us the chance of actually being able to stop. And, well, just the flying process itself, it really sucks. Like, there's a very big chance that I won't even hit the runway properly, probably just, miss it. No, really, this plane is uncontrollable in a way. Really. It's like swerveling around all the time to the left and right. It's so stupid. Alright, let's go ahead and get this landed then here at Lukla. Alright, a pretty hard landing, but at least we are now staying on the ground. The problem is we cannot actually steer this plane on the ground. It only has these two wheels here that really make it unsteerable in a way. there we go. We have actually landed and, most importantly, stopped this U-2 spying plane, the hardest plane to land, on one of the hardest airports to land, and I think we've partly destroyed this plane. Yeah, not good. Something that I thought would fit in this video quite well was also flying this plane at the worst weather possible. So this is kind of like Inception in a way. We're flying the hardest plane to the hardest airport at the hardest weather. Alright, let's go ahead and go for some stormy weather indeed, and this is going to go horribly wrong, I can already tell that, but that's the sake of it, isn't it? Alright, welcome to the U-2 spying plane again, in pretty bad weather. We right now have a wind speed of almost 20 knots, which is quite a bit. There's a lot of thunder, a lot of storm, indeed, so that's kind of fun. This plane now is like genuinely not controllable. It's like driving a car on a road that's covered in oil, right? You just like slip along all the time. Your whole flight is kind of like a drift, and we're literally drifting along here through the air. Maybe we can do somewhat of an aileron roll. That was very much not a good idea. Oh, Jesus. That has not gone very well. Gee, this is very not much an acrobatic plane, but I think we're back on track and the runway is ahead. See, this plane is like genuinely hard to fly. Let's go ahead and get this landed now. Come on. There we go. Another very bad landing, and we are crashing along indeed. Yeah, due to that tailwind we have. Yeah, you know, we had almost 20 knots of cross tailwind, which gave us even more lift boost there, which is why we floated a lot more than what we normally do, which is already high. There we go. We were just bouncing along pretty much, and that really hasn't gone well. See, you don't want to land this plane at bad weather at this airport especially, because you cannot even go around here because of these mountains. This is really not an easy airport to fly into. Alright, let's maybe give St. Bartholomew another chance, because that's... Oh, yeah, see, this airplane is really just slipping along, and this is really uncontrollable now. Oh, that has really gone wrong here. Oh, we have not even hit the runway properly. Alright, but we have landed now, I guess. There we go. See, again, this plane is kind of retarded in a way as well, because it doesn't have enough landing gear components in order to stay upright. You know what? Just look at this. It just falls either to the left or to the right all the time. Now, this whole story actually changes once we actually go to a higher altitude of like 60,000 feet or something, because that's obviously where the plane's home is. And as you can tell, this plane doesn't slip along anymore that much. This is really no problem. And that has not gone well. Now, something I'm just noticing while we're flying this plane here is that this plane has incredibly symmetric wings here, doesn't it? Yeah, wings, yeah. Wing shape is kinda symmetric, so I'm guessing you can actually fly this plane upside down quite well. Let's go ahead and fly upside down. Just the process of going upside down is the actual problem, but once you're actually like upside down all the way, this plane flies quite well. As you can see, we are actually gaining speed while we are maintaining altitude, which is amazing for flying upside down. Alright, that is one good thing of the U-2 spying plane. Now, since the camera of this spying plane actually obviously comes from the bottom, and that was a crash, what I wanted to say was that the camera could now capture the sky, and that really hasn't gone well. I didn't notice the water. So yeah, that is the most difficult video ever. You know, the most difficult plane to fly, at the most difficult airports to fly, in the worst weather to fly. I have no idea what this channel is, but you know, that's just a nice start of the year. No, but yeah, guys, thank you for watching today's video, and I'll see you tomorrow as always. Good night.